Hey everyone, I'm going to talk to you about how you can build different streams of income during retirement years. But before I get into that, I just want to try to shift your perspective a little bit from how you think about retirement. Not so much about the definition of what is retirement, but more about the perspective of actually retiring and the transition you go through as you leave the workplace and head into some level of retirement. Retirement isn't a finish line. It's not like you reach a certain day on the calendar, turn in your resignation, and then flip the keys to your office to someone else and walk out and go home, put your feet up on the couch and for the rest of your life. Like it's just not how it works, right? Instead, retirement is more like turning the page at the end of a chapter and getting ready for whatever's the next chapter on the next page. So it should be a super exciting time in your life, but it doesn't mean that everything has to change. I recently watched a video where a speaker was talking about one common characteristic that so many people have thought throughout their entire life, and she called it adaptability. For many years now, I've been telling advisors on our team at Stonehouse that some people that we'll work with are resourceful. That's the word I use, which also means the same as having the ability to adapt, right? In fact, the concept is the same. I would go as far as to say there are two types of clients that we typically work with. Some people are resourceful. What I mean by that is that no matter what life throws at them, they'll find a way to make things work. They'll address their budget. They will find a way to make some income if they need it. They will change their lifestyle if need be. The other types of clients that we work with are more planted, meaning they're sort of insistent on a certain lifestyle or budget or income and are very unwilling to change no matter what life throws at them. It's that second group that financial planners need to be more careful about when helping to map out their future. In our Stonehouse offices, we often refer to the F word. That's a joke, obviously. The F here stands for flexibility. We love that. And we, much like that speaker was saying, it's a key element in success. We feel that when helping someone plan for their future, having more flexibility or wiggle room in someone's plan can dramatically increase the chance they have of a successful retirement. So, like I said, retirement's a new chapter in a life that presents an opportunity to pursue personal passions, explore new hobbies, and enjoy a well-deserved break from the demands of the working world. However, a key consideration for secure and fulfill retirement is ensuring a steady income stream. Remember, for most of us, we've been used to receiving a paycheck every week or two, and now that paycheck goes away. It doesn't mean your income goes away, but it represents an important shift in your household income. It's a time where you suddenly have to take all your assets that you've been slowly adding to over time and suddenly reverse that stream and have those assets pay you now. In addition to traditional retirement savings, there are various types of income that one can build during retirement that can provide financial stability and even open up new and exciting possibilities. First, let's talk about those traditional sources, right? Then we can dive into some different types of income that you can build in retirement. But let's start out with some of the more obvious income streams that you'll likely be turning on in your future. Social Security benefits. These are a foundation of retirement income for many individuals. Throughout your working years, you pay into the Social Security system, and upon your retirement, you become eligible to receive monthly benefits based on your earnings history. These benefits can be a significant source of income to support your retirement lifestyle, but please be realistic about this source. If you're going to bank on only living off Social Security, you may fall short of your goals. Right? The average monthly Social Security retirement benefit for retired workers in January 2023 was only about $1,827. Now, that amount will vary, of course, depending on your earnings amounts throughout your lifetime, but that average number is just shy of about $22,000 a year. For most of us, that's just not going to cut it. Another source for income that folks may have are pension plans. Though less common than in previous decades, pensions still exist for many retirees. If you're fortunate enough to have a pension plan through your employer, it can be very nice. It can be a reliable source of income during your retirement. Pension plans typically provide a monthly payment based on your years of service and your salary history. These plans are not universal, though, not like Social Security. So the variations that any one person may see in their monthly amount compared to another person is quite large. Now, according to the Pension Rights Center, the median private pension benefit of individuals age 65 and older in 2021 was only about $10,606 a year. So between that and Social Security, it's probably still not meeting your expectations. Which is why most people listening to a video like this are either interested in building additional savings or you already have built those savings. Building a robust retirement savings is crucial to a financially secure retirement. Investments such as IRAs, individual retirement accounts, 401k plans, or other retirement accounts can generate income through interest, dividends, or capital gains, which is a fancier term for growth. What's interesting about these types of accounts is that you control what you do with those. So the first two sources I talked about, Social Security and pensions, are all based on formulas. And so your monthly amounts are predetermined based on how much you put in and how old you are and some other internal calculations that the government or the company does. But with your 401k, your other retirement savings, you're in control. So you can choose to take nothing out, take it all out, take random amounts out, or take monthly regular payments. So I won't go into trying to tell you what the average person has in their 401k when they retire, because quite frankly, I think that's a useless benchmark. The only important question is, how much do you have in your retirement savings? What I will give you as a reference point is 5%. And now 5% is a percentage that it's an amount that investors and advisors often consider to be a reasonable amount to withdraw from your retirement account each year. I know I have to include the usual disclosure here and at the end of this video as well, probably, to basically say that everybody's numbers are different and the rates of return depend on where your money's invested. But I just want you to have an idea that 5% of $500,000 would translate to an annual income of about $25,000 per year. If you wanted $50,000 per year, then simple math would mean that you'd probably double that to about $1 million in your retirement savings. Now, I hope you're starting to get the picture on just how all this stuff starts to come together to kind of create income during your retirement. I just talked about your 401k and how you can take that money out each month, but most of the time that is invested in a diversified portfolio. I'm a huge fan of that because I love those types of accounts and that style of investing. But the reality is that your money during those times in that account will always be subject to changes in the bond market and the stock market. So while I like those because there's historical data that implies great long-term opportunity in those markets, they are not a guaranteed income stream. Annuities are financial products that can provide a guaranteed income stream during retirement. They are typically purchased through insurance companies and they can offer fixed or variable payments. Annuities provide a sense of security as they offer predetermined payout over a specified period or for life, depending on the terms of the annuity contract. A simpler way that I like to describe annuities is centered around risk, right? As I just mentioned, your 401k is often not guaranteed and subject to market fluctuations. Typically, either you or your advisor, if you're working with a professional like me, are working to manage that risk over time. Know that if you decide at some point in time that you would like to take that risk off your shoulders and transfer it to someone else, then you could do so by moving some or all of your money into an annuity. Now you have transferred the risk to the insurance company that's issuing that product. They have your money and they have control of your money. And what you have now is a contract that obligates that insurance company to pay you according to the details in that contract. So you've transferred that risk. But listen, I could talk about hours for annuities, but I won't, trust me. There are by far those annuities are the most complex products in the financial industry. They can come with all kinds of bells and whistles, and they can be a great fit or they can be a nightmare for you, depending on your situation. So I would highly recommend doing your homework and your own research and take your time before entering into one of these products. I'll even include a link for you to get started if you're interested in reading a little bit more about these annuities. All of those things we just talked about are pretty much traditional kinds of retirement savings. For those interested in maybe thinking out of the box a little bit more, here are a few quick items that we run through with as options, basically with certain types of clients who we believe are capable of considering these other types of out-of-the-box sources of income. First one would be rental income. So if you own real estate properties or have an extra living space, renting it out can be an excellent source of income in retirement. Becoming a landlord allows you to earn regular rental income that can help cover your living expenses or supplement other retirement income sources that we talked about. It's important to consider, though, the responsibilities and potential challenges, of course, that come with being a landlord, such as property maintenance and tenant management. Now, this is my big warning. Do not believe everything you see on house flipping or home remodeling TV shows. Take it from someone who has grown up in a family of contractors. I've owned a number of homes, renovated 4 different office spaces, and have spent an insane amount of personal man hours remodeling everything. It almost never goes smoother than you thought, or even close to being under budget. With that said, I have a lot of passion for it, and I do truly enjoy looking at the finished product, and I'm proud to own those properties when I'm done with them. They can be a very nice addition to your overall portfolio, but if you don't have a passion like I do in dealing with what comes with real estate or rental properties, then please move on to the next option and save yourself the stress. Many retirees find fulfillment and financial benefits by engaging in part-time work or consulting in their area of expertise. This can be an ideal way to stay active, maintain social connections, and earn additional income. Part-time work or consulting opportunities can range from freelancing, tutoring, advisory roles, or even starting a small business based on your skills and your interest. And I'll tell you something else too. This is not a statistic that you really typically find anywhere. Remember when I mentioned that retirement is like closing a chapter in a book and getting ready to start that next chapter? If you spent 30 plus years of your life working 40 to 60 hours a day, or a week, I should say, maybe suddenly having no work is too much of an adjustment for you. Or maybe your retirement plan looks a lot better if you spend the first couple of years with some part-time work, which would equate to income that you can use right out of the gates, which also means income that you don't have to take out of your retirement accounts quite yet. All these little subtle things can really add cushion and flexibility, there's the F word, and possibly more happiness even to your retirement. And we have a good number of clients who choose to do part-time work, not because they need it, but because they want it. Royalties. I'll add royalties to this list because of the area that a lot of our clients live in. A good number of them own property within Marcellus Shale region, and they're already receiving royalties, or they expect to receive royalties in the near future. I won't go into the details that we do during our live in-person seminars, but in short, royalties are always extremely unpredictable, but they can be incredibly helpful when it comes to supplementing all these other income sources that we're talking about today. My only additional thought for this video is to encourage anyone receiving royalties to be sure that you use each dollar wisely, because you never know when it's the last royalty dollar that you're going to receive. Entrepreneurial ventures. I'm going way too long already in this video, but I do just want to add this last category because I think it's the most exciting one. Retirement can be an ideal time to explore your entrepreneurial spirit and start a business or engage in a passion project, whatever you want to call it. Whether it's online, a consultancy service, or a hobby turned into a revenue-generating venture, pursuing an entrepreneurial venture can not only provide income, but also a sense of purpose and a personal satisfaction. And that's why I like this category so much. I often see retirees having difficulty filling that giant void in their schedule that at one point used to be filled with work commitments. Having hobbies and special interests can only fill up so much of that time. And some of us equate our identity with our careers, right? So just a short time ago, I had a guy named John Franzoni in the studio. And if you haven't had a chance to watch that video, please do. John is just an absolutely one of the nicest people I've ever met. Super bright guy as well. And he talked about trying to find his identity when he first entered into retirement and how that really caught him by surprise. So you may be looking at entrepreneurship as a supplement source of income, but you might find out that it also works to help you emotionally transition into retirement mode. But whether you're going to consider starting up your own business or maybe investing in a startup of your kids or a friend, these can all be fun and exciting, but they can also be really risky and costly if you're not careful. So please proceed with caution. Hey, listen, this was a lot of information, right? And there are several other sources out there that we didn't even touch on. So hopefully I drove home the importance of having multiple income streams if possible, as well as coordinating all those income streams. And I didn't even touch on the whole taxation of all these. So a steady, adequate flow of income during your retirement years is what you're shooting for. So thank you so much for listening. I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you on the next one.